So at the moment, there's a massive buzz around tomorrow, Monday the 18th, and rightfully so, in my opinion. And for this one, we're just going to go through and talk about why Monday could be so important for GTA 6 pre-orders. We've obviously had the Best Buy pre-order leak, and the community's really hyping up at the moment, and it really feels like this time something could be coming. Now, nothing's been confirmed by Rockstar. We definitely have to point that out, so we still have to be reserved and stay calm. And I'm also going to explain why I believe that GTA 6 Trailer 3 is potentially also coming on Monday with pre-order now at the end. So firstly, just off the bat, the Best Buy pre-order leak is completely real. It's now been confirmed by multiple sources who have reached out, including Game Informer, and Tom Henderson even mentioned it on the show the other day that it's 100% real. Now, we don't know about the information inside that, about the 18th to the 21st. This is going to be the one that's the bit of the grey area. So we know that at the time that this was all set up, that was potentially Rockstar's plans. But I think with Best Buy being so huge, like they're one of the biggest retailers in the entire United States. This isn't some little back-end retailer. This has a lot of credibility and weight behind it. And Game Roll also pointed out that they haven't made a comment either way. Now, they're obviously not going to come out and confirm, oh yeah, we've made a mistake, but I do believe if it wasn't linked to pre-orders, they should be able to come out and literally say, yeah, this isn't anything to do with that. This is an error. It's not to do with pre-orders, which they haven't done. So it's almost like, you know, if it is true that it's coming on the 18th, which I'm starting to lean towards it actually being true, they have probably had communication advising them just to leave it now and to not say anything. Now, Monday morning is just going to be really interesting, and this pre-order leak it's kind of spoiled it in a way if it does come. And we'll also talk about the potential for Trailer 3 in this video, because there's nothing about Trailer 3. This leak has nothing to do with the trailer, so that's still a bit of a grey area. Now we'll just have a talk why everyone's looking at Monday. So with regards to this, the whole community is now in a buzz specifically about Monday. Now, I think after this pre-order leak, everybody was really looking at Friday. I was locked into TGG's stream waiting for something to happen, and then they dropped that GTA Online post. So as soon as it got to the end of Friday, it then just became, you know, with this recent information, the only other day we can look at is Monday. Now, I was keeping an eye on the weekend just to see if they'd drop anything, but up to the point where, you know, we're all now watching this video, they haven't made a teaser, they haven't made any type of announcement. Now, no, before they did tease Red Dead Redemption 2 on a Sunday. It was only artwork, but they were still willing to speak about an upcoming game on a Sunday. But the fact that we got no prior announcement, that nothing happened up to now, I think people are worrying that we may not get pre-orders. I know, again, Tom Henderson and the guys over at Insider Gaming were saying that they just can't see Rockstar dropping pre-orders for this game without a warning, which does make complete sense, to be fair. But from the other side, do Rockstar want to go for just a complete surprise drop and just catch everybody off guard and just cause that disruption in that moment? I also just want to point out that this whole Monday thing has been done before by Rockstar. So for Red Dead Redemption 2, Trailer 3 was actually announced on a Monday. It was the 30th of April. And then the trailer actually dropped on Wednesday, the 2nd of May. So we had a Wednesday drop for that one. So we know that Rockstar liked that type announcement, then a day or two later we get the drop. But recently for Trailer 2, they've obviously gone for the shadow drop, and that worked really well because it caused so much disruption and just took over the entire news cycle instantly. So it's just weighing up, you know. And then if we also take in this pre-order situation, that sort of really weighs things up to the 18th, in my opinion. Now, with regards to pre-orders, you're going to need a source, a way to drive as many people to that pre-order as possible. And the best way to do that would be a trailer. Now, I know TGG said that he had it on good authority that the trailer was going to come up and say pre-order now at the end. But for me, it wouldn't make sense to drop pre-orders and then drop the trailer later. It makes sense to just take over and have that explosion. Because once everybody's watched that trailer and they're absolutely buzzing and they can't wait, everyone's going to go straight over to those stores. They're all going to pile up and pre-order that game. So for me, from a marketing, from a business point of view, because let's face it, at the core of it, that's what this is, that would be the most logical thing to do. So they could do a surprise announcement, or they could just give us a little brief window. But with pre-orders lining up with this leak, and I genuinely do believe this leak, but we also have to point out that history doesn't guarantee repetition, so Rockstar could do absolutely anything. So Monday, tomorrow, for me, does make complete sense, and I do actually think it's going to happen. This is just my opinion, so don't take it gospel, and don't use my personal opinion and my thoughts to get yourself hyped up. That's not what this is about. This is just me, you know, giving you my thoughts on this whole situation. So what I'm personally predicting is that around 3 o'clock on Monday, Rockstar are going to tweet, watch Grand Theft Auto 6 Trailer 3 and pre-order now, and it's going to have a link to the website and the whole internet's going to explode. Just to clarify and put another disclaimer on that, just completely my personal opinion. And it's also Monday marks the start of the week of the Take-Two Interactive earnings call, so that makes even more sense. It gives it 3 or 4 days to start building up pre-order numbers and the trailer doing the numbers as well, so Strauss can go into that call. So it does make sense from a business point of view. It's a bit later than I was originally expecting, but maybe they just want everything really tight for that investor call. So it does make sense from that side. And now we're just sort of coming down to, are they going to shadow drop it or are they going to announce it? And I'm really in two minds, but more leaning towards that this could just be a shadow drop that completely shuts down the entire internet. But it definitely makes more sense to have that trailer racking up millions of views, directing people straight to the pre-orders. Why wouldn't they do that? There's going to be more eyes on the trailer than people that would just be exposed to the pre-orders. Pre-orders, you're going to have to really go looking for them if you're following Rockstar's socials. But the trailer, if they're running ads on it on YouTube especially, it's going to be presented in front of way more people, giving them the option to go and pre-order. So I don't want to get everyone too excited. It is just my opinion, but I really think it's going to happen. But I also just want to clarify that nothing has been confirmed throughout this entire time by Rockstar Games. And there's a difference between something looking possible and being absolutely guaranteed. So just need to make sure that's absolutely clear for everyone. And I do just want to talk about the buzz in the community at the moment. So the community is really active. Everything's exploding again. And I think it is all down to this whole pre-order thing, which just came completely out of the blue. I woke up the other morning and it was just completely going off in my DMs and all over my notifications. And Frogboy Gaming, who's the guy who actually broke this, he was the first one to show the email from Best Buy, has come out and give his opinion that the moment he received that email, he was convinced that it's going to be the 18th, and also said that he's never had an email like this from Best Buy that wasn't legitimate or had incorrect information. And I quickly just want to speak about Detective Seeds as well, because Detective Seeds did actually say that he knew when the pre-orders were coming. And he turned out to be right, and he was talking about this a little while before the Best Buy leak happened, and he's since proven that that is the date he was given by his source. Now, I just want to say a couple things. Some people may get some things right and some people may get some things wrong, but for this situation, Detective Seeds has pretty much called this, and he stated that as far as he's aware and what he was told by his source, that the pre-orders should be starting on the 18th. So there's a lot of fuel being added to the fire at the moment, and I genuinely think rightfully so. This isn't clickbait. I'm clearly labelling this as my opinion, and I want to make sure that everybody completely understands that and don't go fueling your hype based on my personal opinion. So for this, I think we can be excited, we can be extremely excited, but we still need to have that voice in the back of our head that, Monday could pass with nothing. I really don't think this is going to be the case. And if that does happen, I think it's down to the fact that Rockstar will have changed plans internally because of this whole leak. But at the same time, this close to pre-orders, with all the wheels that will be in motion, I think it might be a bit too late for them to actually make changes now. So it's unlikely that those dates have just been made up by Best Buy. They would have been given those dates by Take-Two or Rockstar. Obviously, there's been a huge mess up here, unless it's been, I know some people think this may have been orchestrated by Rockstar to start building hype before pre-orders potentially go live on Monday. But at the same time, this isn't certainty, and we got to remember not to turn that excitement into certainty. And it is just opinion. We can get excited, we can discuss it, and we can come up with our own theories. I know some people really don't like it when you make a prediction or you come up with a theory, but it is what it is. That's what I'm here for. I love this game. I'm a fan like anyone else, and I like to discuss it in that way. So there we go. We've had the Best Buy leak, which is pretty much pointing towards that Rockstar have plans, or at least had plans, for these pre-orders to go live on the 18th. The affiliate marketing program is running from the 18th to the 21st, which means if that is correct, which I think it is, they sort of have to go live on the 18th unless something's changed last minute. Because remember, the timing that this communication's been sent out, it was only sent out a few days ago. So are they really going to be changing their plans that quickly? It really seems like this is the pre-order date. There is a little bit of history behind Monday as well. So it's understandable that Rockstar may make that decision to drop it on a Monday. There's a huge community focus growing around Monday, but most importantly, nothing's been confirmed just yet. But I think this is the biggest buzz we've had around GTA 6 in a long time, and the most realistic opportunity we've had where we could actually get to see pre-orders. Now, with regards to the trailer thing, what I've mentioned about the trailer is just my opinion, because I think they're going to want something to drive people to those pre-orders, and a trailer racking up hundreds of millions of views across platforms, directing people to the pre-orders, is just the best way to do that. But what do you think? Do you really think it's time? And do you think pre-orders are actually going live on Monday? And do you think it's going to be at the end of trailer 3, we're going to get that pre-order now to push us all over to pre-order the game? Or do you think that, the community, including myself, are getting ahead of ourselves again? And are we overhyping? I'd really like to know your opinion. Once again, just another disclaimer. I know I've said it a few times, but all completely my opinion, just based on this Best Buy leak and what I think is the most logical thing to happen. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to like and subscribe. You can catch me on all the socials, X, TikTok and Instagram. And on X, it's Rockstation on X, and we've just hit 16,000. And we're very close to 3,000 on here, which is just incredible as well. Now, when the trailer and pre-orders do drop, there's going to be so much content. I'm going to be covering everything, reactions, breakdowns, details, anything you can think of, you'll find over on this channel. And I'll see you for the next one.